about one like this one with a curved surface? Well, although I personally prefer not to try to remember lots of formulas, sometimes for cylinders and cones and spheres, you're just going to have to learn them. But let me try to show you where the cylinder's formula comes from, because we can actually work this out. This is a cylinder. On the top and on the bottom, we've actually got two circles. That's easy. But what happens if I unravel, in fact unroll, the curved surface of a cylinder? If I have a cylinder, and I unwrap that curved surface, what shape do I get? It was a cylinder, and I unwrap it and get a rectangle. What's the height of the cylinder compared to the height of that rectangle? It's the same, isn't it? That was the height of the cylinder. And the length of that rectangle, look carefully, where does the length of that rectangle come from in the cylinder? It's the distance around that circle, isn't it? The length of that rectangle is the same as the distance around the circle at the top. And what's the special name for the distance around the circle? It's the circumference. So when you're finding the area of a cylinder, the surface area of a cylinder, you're going to have to find the area of the circle, but you're also going to have to find the circumference of the circle. Be careful not to get them confused. Let's go. I'm going to have a circle on top, that's another circle underneath, that's the same, and I'm going to have a curved surface, number 2. So let's do one first. That's a circle, pi r squared. Be careful with your language, I say this many times. This is pi r squared, not pi r2. If you say pi r2, then what you're going to do when you come to calculate is multiply the radius by 2. That is not correct. It is not pi times the radius times 2. It is pi times the radius squared, pi times the radius times the radius. Really, really important you say that right. What is the radius of this circle? Well, 7 is the diameter, so the radius must be 3.5 squared. Get your calculator, and again, make sure you type squared, not times 2. If you can't find the squared button, multiply by 3.5 again. Pi, don't use 3.14, use the pi button on your calculator. 3.5 squared. I'm going to get 38,484,5,1,0,0,1. That again is a lot of digits. How many do you think I need? I've got centimetres, I won't need a lot. Let's again, arbitrarily, let's just choose 2 decimal places. The next digit is below 5, so I'm going to round that down. There. And what are my units? Square centimetres. Okay, let's work out 2. I'm actually going to draw a diagram for 2. 2 is a rectangle. The height of that rectangle, let's look again. The height of the rectangle is the height of the cylinder, 14 centimetres. The length of this rectangle, is the circumference of the circle. Circumference, which is pi times diameter. So let's work that out carefully. Circumference is pi times, not the radius now, the diameter, which is 7. Okay, pi times 7, 21.9911. I've got a lot of digits here. I'm going to write a few, but I'm not going to round this off in my calculator because I'm just going to do the next multiplication straight away. What I want is area 2, which is this circumference times 14, 21.9911 times 14. So just go times 14 on your calculator, 307. Now it's 876. If I'm rounding to 2 decimal places, now I've got to the end, I need to look at the next digit is more than 5, round that up. 88 square centimetres. And then my total surface area is, let's look carefully, I'm going to have 2 lots of 1, 2 circles, and 1 lot of 2. So that's 2 times that, plus that one. Let's work that out. Plus 384.8. That was messy. 384.84 square centimetres. Okay? Think about the shape. If you need to, get yourself a model, make yourself a cylinder. If I unwrap that, the width here of the rectangle is the height of that cylinder. And remember, the length of that rectangle is the circumference of the circle.